Hi, and thank you so much for tuning in today's 2-minute video tip by Monique. Actually, this is going to be a different kind of video than you're used to. But first of all, I would love to share my deepest and sincere appreciation and gratitude for all my YouTube subscribers. Thank you so much for your willingness to participate in these videos with me. And for those of you who have been following me from the beginning of my 2-minute video tips by Monique, you may have noticed that I have not been publishing any of these 2-minute video tips by Monique for the last 2 months, from the end of March until today, really. So I would love to share with you some of my personal love life, what's been going on behind the scenes, so you have an idea as to why I have decided to have a retreat. I would love to show you this picture, if that's okay with you. This is one of my vision boards, a mood board that I made years ago. And here you see me with the love of my life, with whom I have been very happy together for 9 years. And here you can see our 5 gorgeous and beautiful kids, 2 of my own, Ramon and Miguel, and 3 of his gorgeous, beautiful kids, Ion, Annika, and Matteo, who are now ranging between 15 and 19 years old, so they're all teenagers and adolescents. And yet, my world has been turned upside down. You see, last year in September, the love of my life told me that through his work, where he had a project going on with whom he was working closely together with another woman, he told me that he liked this woman and that he fell in love with her. And it was not the fact that he was telling me that he fell in love with her that shook and rocked my world, but the fact that apparently from March till September, something beautiful grew between them, and they started to have a sexual, intimate relationship. So when he told me that, I felt so devastated. Immediately I felt hurt deep within me. I felt so deeply hurt to the core of my being. And I told him, how can you tell me that I'm the love of your life and you're doing something like this? I didn't understand that. And then he also told me that he discovered that he was not monogamous and that he was able and capable of loving more women, and that he could not choose, and he didn't want to choose. He wanted both of us. So while I felt this deep hurt deep down in my bones even, and after soaking up that information, there was still this voice within me, because we were in a stage of our relationship, at least I was, where I was being invited to explore what unconditional love means. So I wanted to open up my heart. So even though I was so hurt and I felt so deeply betrayed, by his act, I invited myself to open up my heart to the idea and ask myself the question, Monique, would I be willing to see if there's a possibility that he could stay in a loving romantic relationship with me and develop this loving relationship with her and have those two realities live next to each other simultaneously? Do I have it within me to do that? So from September to January this year, we went on a quest. We started looking on the internet and reading all kinds of books. I already had a book, a Dutch book called I Love Two Men. And it's about a way of living which is called polyamory, where two people are in a relationship and having other multiple romantic relationships at the same time, based on mutual respect and consent of all parties. And after watching a couple of these interviews with people who apparently were already living that way, and my lover, my love life, my dear beloved, felt encouraged and supported by that and had this idea, oh, I'm so happy to know that I'm not the only one. So from September to January, every time when I felt, okay, I feel that I can do this, and then he would go to her, and at the last minute, I don't know, I would call him again, because I felt such a terror in my body, which I never felt before, right into my legs. I felt this anxiety, this stress, this fear of, no, don't do this, because I don't know if I can handle it. So, while he was already pumped up with my enthusiasm, okay, we can do this, and so he had to say no to her again. And he felt confused about the signals that I was sending to him. So in that period, he already broke it up with her because I could not handle that. So in that experiment, yes, there was a lot of stress and a lot of pain and suffering. I really never felt this fear in my life ever before. Yes, my fear of being left alone, being shut out of the group, felt so real. It was just awful. It was just awful. And meanwhile, I was doing all these exercises to come back into alignment with me again. But there was just so much that it really took everything of me to keep my sanity. And then in January, she forced him to make a decision anyway. And then one day he came home crying and said, "Oh, Monique, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but I choose for her. I choose her." And then for the second time, my world was turning and collapsing. And I was so angry at him. I said, "How can you do this to me? We're just right in the middle of trying to transform this, and I'm opening up my heart here, and now you're stopping in the middle of the process?" Yes, he was telling me, "I know, but it's just so stressful, and I cannot take it anymore, and I've been asking a lot of you. I realize that, but no, I feel that I'm going to be even more happier with her than with you, so I'm sorry." And then I asked him, "So what does that mean for our relationship?" Is she now going to determine how we're going to live our life? That's the world upside down. Yes, he told me, I know, but I just don't know what to do. So as from January till this point, where in the first place, he was having like two lives, being intimate with me and being intimate with her, because he was forced to take a decision, whom to choose. He now felt that he could not stay intimate with me. So pretty drastically, he decided to sleep elsewhere in our beautiful, lovely home. And all of a sudden, what we had for 9 years was gone. And we were taking one step at a time every day to see what the new way of our relationship would look like. But Samai already made the decision to now spend his lifetime with her. We've been in relationship coaching kind of setting because he felt that we were in this stuckness area where I already actually have accepted their relationship in the first place. But I did not agree with how he was trying to manage all of this. So now we are in the financial stuff when it comes to separation. And meanwhile, all this time, because deep down I know that I'm responsible for my own happiness, I started to ask myself questions. I started to ask myself where in this whole process, what was my part in this co-creation? Where did I betray myself, and was this reflected through his behavior? Where was I not faithful to me? Where did I abandon me? Where didn't I keep promises to myself? Because from the moment that he met her, he told her, you know, I didn't fall in love with you because I'm unhappy with Monique. On the contrary, I'm extremely happy with her. I intend to stay with her. I intend to stay with her and not leave her. Yet, because he could not handle the stress of being with her and being with me, he didn't keep his promise. So for the second time, I felt betrayed in that. And yet I am willing to dive deep into my own soul and to be quite honest with myself, even though that feels so completely uncomfortable. But I'm willing to feel that in the interest of growing. I know that I have a purpose in life, and that is so clear to me, and that is to embody unconditional love and teach this through the clarity of my example to my kids, my loved ones, and everyone else I interact with. Because yes, it's very tempting to go to a place to get even or to feel you want to take revenge or something like that because it wasn't fair and all that kind of stuff. I choose differently. I choose to forgive the three of us because I choose to separate the doing, the behavior from the being, because he's still the love of my life. I still love him with every fiber of my being. I still love him with every fiber of my being. Yet, because I love myself unconditionally, I'm setting new, healthy boundaries for myself, for my kids, for my loved ones. And yes, I am willing to forgive. And forgiveness to me doesn't mean that I condone his behavior. It means that I'm freeing myself from the burden of feeling revenge or want to get back or stuff like that. And leave that. So that I can get back into alignment with the fullness of who it is that I have become in this process. So I'm willing to look at the gift underneath the seemingly chaotic situation. I am willing to keep loving him, his kids, my kids, and wish him all the best in the world. And if it means, in order to practice my purpose in life and my mission and vision in life, that yes, in this human reality, we're going our separate ways, I really want to honor and love and appreciate what we have had for the last 9 years. Because there's so much to appreciate. I love him so much. I love his kids so much. I love living in this beautiful home. And I intend to listen to that quiet voice within me, because I know that there's a power within me that is greater than the circumstance. And I know that there's a blessing in the skies in what happened to me, what happened through us in this process. So that's what's been going on behind the 2-minute video tips by Monique. That's why I retreated. Because I could not continue like the show must go on. No, I'm not like that. I needed to go deep within myself and contemplate and see what's the lesson and the gift in this whole co-creation. So, yes. Thank you. Thank you for your willingness to be patient and listen to my story. And I'm also willing to accept help from people, from my loved ones. And I am so happy and thankful and grateful that I have an abundance of wonderful people in my life, like my parents and my brothers and their spouses and their kids and my family members and my friends and family and my neighbors and my clients who support me in this journey. And I say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So thank you. Thank you for your willingness to watching this video. And I honor you, I bless you. And my mantra is, for more ease and flow, simply chill and relax. Namaste.